Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. If you see me looking all over the place, it's because I have the phone turned to the side, and sometimes I forget the camera's over there. With that being said, it is day 9 of my brand new life, and I'm going to kind of bounce all over the place, you guys, because today was really just I'm getting ready to sum things up type of day. You see, yesterday when I was in the car and the Uber driver started telling me about how he felt when people, you know, voice their opinion and it was negative, he would get upset. But he really admired Shadir Sanders and how poised he was, basically how much confidence he had when it came to people like throwing stones at him. And I told him it's not necessarily confidence, it goes a step further, a lot further. It's validation. Like he feels valid every time that he walks into a room, like he is carrying the truth of God with him, and it is a good thing that he is there. And so, if it's for him, he'll have it. If not, he'll figure that out too. And so, when you feel that validated by the word of God and that you're walking in it, you don't really need to feed off the opinions of others. Because you realize it came from their experience and you're having a very intimate one yourself. Now, I took that slightly deeper today because yesterday God also had me going through the story of Moses and why he wasn't able to get into the promised land. Now, but as with every single Bible study story, you guys, they can go kind of all over the place in multi directions, but we're going to stick to this one. And so God let me know that Moses didn't make it into the promised land because when he told him to speak to the rock, he struck it. Now, the thing is, he had struck it before and it had worked. And it was his disobedience or whatever that prevented him from getting to the promised land. Hey, guys, sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, he hit the rock and he struck it, and he had done that before. And so basically, instead of doing what God was telling him to do in that moment, he went off of his own opinion and just did what he thought he knew best, and he wasn't able to get into the promised land. And because it relates to me, because I kind of feel like I'm in the between. I know that I'm really close to the promised land. I've made it across the river. I can see the goodness over there, but something, it felt like it just wasn't allowing me in. I came to realize that it was my own level of disobedience, my own still needing to listen to myself. I had died to the world, just like Moses. I had done all the things, but I still allowed other people's opinions to be what I petitioned the Lord for, including my own. And God was letting me know that I had to essentially, I guess, stop doing that. Stop questioning, am I hearing from Him or not? And I've been asking this question for a long time. And like I said, you guys, I'm getting a lot of answers to things that I've been asking the question for a long time. Is how do you know the difference between your voice and the voice of God? And the basic answer was, if you wouldn't find yourself giving you that answer, it's probably God. Like, say, for example, with me in the THC pens, I don't want to get another one, but heard it to go ahead and do that. And it's led to me having so many of these different revelations because I'm still partaking in this. And so it, for me, I had to, and I'm still working on it, get out of the way of controlling the process of letting this chapter in. Like I say, I've seen this better version of me that doesn't do certain things and isn't a certain kind of way. And I kind of want to rush and get there. But God's still saying, whoa, whoa, little pony, let's slow down. And it's up to me to kind of stop being the Moses in this situation, going off my old opinions of, what worked before. Let me try that. I just kept on try, and I think you're the same way. If you're here, there's a lot of things that had worked for you before that you tried that just aren't working right now. And the only thing that's doing it for you is to be obedient. Like for now, I'm doing a fast. I know you're not supposed to say anything about that, but since I'm not really telling anybody but a cellular phone screen and putting it out there just in case, I'm not going to see if anybody sees it. I don't check the views. So I am in the middle of this fast right now. And I had tried fasting before, like a couple of weeks, but really for my own thing, because I kind of, like I said, wanted to rush the process along. And it was miserable. Oh my goodness, it was so miserable. I had a headache for like a day and a half, like one of those headaches that makes your brain hurt days later after that. And I just no. And so when God told me to start fasting again yesterday, this was at the tail end of the little Daniel fast where he had me get rid of meat and still getting rid of meat. Like I'm not doing processed foods like that. I have some cereal. But other than that, and cheese, cereal and cheese, because I don't know how to make my own cheese. But other than that, I'm not doing the whole processed food things. I'm doing away with the sugars. I'm drinking the water. I'm doing all the things that God want me to do. And I realize now that in itself was preparation to this particular fast that He called me into yesterday that I am thriving on, you guys, which is ironically not ironic. I am doing great. I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. I got to tell myself to go ahead and drink some stuff. I know intuitively God let me know I could drink some Gatorade and I'll be perfectly fine with doing that. Again, this particular fast is to open the door to the next chapter. Not I can't say that I'm not expectant. I am. God is God. I'm just gonna let God do God. And I prayed it while I am going through this fast to be able to allow more of myself to see that, really just increase my awareness of what's available to me to be able to move forward in life, now that I'm no longer getting in my own way to do it, now that I'm no longer trying to control the process and I am just taking it day by day. It's been interesting. I'm going to tell you guys, I've had every day I go to work, it's like I forget I have to go back to work the next day, So I'm in that mode of feeling the splitting coming into being, and it's not in like some negative tragedy thing is going to take place, but it just is me being able to move into the next phase. The funny thing is, like I said, I've always been so traumatized, and so I've always anytime that I had to move forward in life, there's always been so much trauma surrounding it. But this one is kind of like a gentle leading, which it makes me think about proper parenting, as odd as that sounds. I feel as though I'm properly parenting myself into a new stage of life. Like a kid goes from home to kindergarten, from there to high school, from high school to the world. Like I feel like I'm properly parenting myself through this latest stage of awakening. And to be honest with you, it feels quite good. And it feels like God is here. So, yeah, you guys, it's been a very interesting day 10. Um, I realized that I needed to be valid, carry the truth with me. Oh, and I'll give you the definition of validity and then I'll get off of here because that really blew my mind today. To be valid is to honor the pre-existing truth. That's it. And so we validate God with just our lives. Our lives should be a beacon of worship to validate God, to honor the truth that He's placed in all of us. It's no different. Well, it is different, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's like when you get your parking validated at after going to the hospital. It's to say that, hey, this has already been paid for by somebody else. You don't have to do it. There's already a written truth here that we're going to honor because somebody else has paid for this parking. You don't have to do it. And it's kind of the same thing that God gives us, with Jesus. Somebody else has paid for these sins. You don't have to die for them. And you do have to remember that. What comes along with that you're saved, that you're free, and really start acting like that, you guys. And that's a different story for another day about how life is very cut and dry. You are either living a life where you are acting like you are saved and free, or you are living a life where you are acting like you are in constant need of rescuing from being shackled. There is no in between. Anyway, you guys, have a blessed day. Bye.